Why don't people start? And I say that because, in hindsight now, you're going to understand, looking back at your own work, the quality of it, what you went through. Why don't they start?
I think it's that pressure of failure, the feeling of doubt, and as well, wasting time. If they've got a family or they've got a job where it's full time, then to start something else on the side when they've got to see to the family or the girlfriend or the wife or whatever it is, you don't have much time to go and do something else that you then hope will eventually in the future take off or become successful. A lot of people say it takes 10 years to become an overnight success, and I think that's true.
Honestly, just keep trying and don't be afraid to fail. I think that's so, so, so important. And everyone I've met, by the way, from the people that run businesses that are 10 times bigger than Gymshark, every successful person in sport, in business, whatever, whether they've started a business or not, every single one of them has failed time and time and time again. And I think then people look at the final product and just assume that they were either this incredible human who was born this way, and it is just never, ever the case. More often than not, all the most successful people I've ever met are all winging it. They're all literally just working incredibly hard, and they're just giving it their best shot.
I think once you've actually learned how to really try one thing for an extended period of time, every single day, and taken all of your discretionary effort and your money and your time and your resources and put it towards just doing that thing, number one, you realize how few things you can really do well because of the amount of time that it takes. The second thing is you realize how easy it is to beat everyone else because of how few of them actually do that. And learning how to try becomes a generalizable skill across domains. So when you do learn how to play the saxophone, and if you want to pick up tennis, you think about how many sessions you did to fix your fingers and play a more advanced thing over and over again. And then when you realize that the domains are similar in terms of skill achievement, you're like, oh, this is the same thing. And then when you go I need to make content now, it's it's the same as hitting 500 forehands and 500 backhands, and I make 500 tweets and 400 posts. And if I do it for an extended period of time and I take the feedback and I don't stop, I'll probably beat most people.
Hard work alone is definitely not enough. You have to work hard, but you also have to work smart.
There's this quote that I read from Kobe where he said he thought that it was going to be super competitive in the NBA. But when he got into the NBA, he realized that people, they figured out that they had made it and weren't willing to sacrifice as much as he was to continue to win. And I would say that realization has been somewhat true for me, which is that winning, it hasn't gotten harder from the actual doing stuff side. There has been the trades that have been different than I expected. But especially when you're looking at the population of everyone to 100 days of doing something in a row, there was a friend of mine who he offered a guarantee on a product that he sold. And the guarantee was this. He said, all you have to do, you can get all your money back if you just open up a Google Doc and say what you're going to do every day. And at the end of the day, you're going to say what you did. That's it. And you just do that for 6 weeks. That's all you have to do. And if you do that and you don't get the results, I'll give you your money back. And what's crazy about that is when he was talking about it, he said, do you know what the completion rate of twice a day doing something is? He's like, it's less than 1%. And so I think we underplay how simple success is and extrapolate an expectation of how easy it must be from that. And then we're disappointed or dissatisfied when it doesn't meet those expectations. It is harder than we expect, but also the rewards may be also greater than we expect.
Why didn't you quit? Because, as I said a second ago, there must have been so much force telling you to go and get a real job.
Yeah.
But why didn't you quit?
I think it just leads back to, again, proving people wrong and proving myself right. And the only other option I had was to go and work for my dad. And I didn't want to do that because I'd done that all my teens and I hated it. I hated cleaning minibuses and ripping stickers off the sides of windows and going to auctions and bidding on cars and stuff. That wasn't me. And that was the only other option I had. So it was this is it. It's all or nothing, really.
setting yourself up for success and I say you have to be intentional about something, right? And so for me, the intentionality was, what do I have to learn so I don't go back to prison? What do I have to learn so that I don't become dead before a certain age? And then I got past that. And then I was like, what do I have to learn to become a great father?
At the very start of your business, there's not going to be a ton of evidence that it's going well. There's probably not going to be a ton of revenue, probably not going to be a ton of users, but there will be evidence of progress, evidence that you're getting better, evidence that you're making marginal gains. And for me, and even with this podcast, I don't necessarily look for results today or more viewers or more downloads or more revenue. What I'm looking for is this thing getting 1% better week over week? Because it only then takes 100 weeks for us to be 100% better. And that means we're moving in the right direction.
Businesses are created by people for the benefit of other people. And so we need to understand human psychology, both our psychology and the psychology of the people we interact with, relate to, whether that's customers or employees, contractors, the other people in our world. And then there are certain parts about how the world works, system and process, how things tend to interact with each other. That's very valuable and important to know. And I think there's a lot of, for the person who wants to start a new business, a lot of it comes down to answering those fundamental questions. How are you going to create value that someone else in the world wants or needs?
So you're going to have to create a company, create something that generates a lot of value. Typically, that's going to be a company. So you're going to create a company that meets a very well-known need that has not yet been serviced by a product that is relatively easy to get across the finish line and into the marketplace. It needs to be something that is going to resonate with social media, and it needs to be something that doesn't cost a lot of money to get started. So either you're going to layer on way better marketing. So if somebody has a solution to a well-known problem, but they don't know how to market it, you can go and partner and say, hey, look, I understand marketing. I'm going to be able to get this out there. Or if you have an information product that can be associated with a known problem that you uniquely can solve. I happen to know a little bit about your background. So if there's an element to working in the music industry, to becoming a professional singer, improving your voice or something like that, that you really have a beat on, that you know a lot of people are interested in, that you could turn into a course, for instance, that people would really resonate with, that could be a great one. The reason that I keep coming back to information products is you're looking for something that doesn't cost money up front. If you're gonna take Quest Nutrition, for instance, when we were building that, there was still a substantive amount of investment that we had to make. Even just buying a bunch of protein powder was expensive. Buying the liquid fiber, you have to buy them in 55-gallon drums. So it's like there were still thousands of dollars that we had to put in the beginning. And so to find something that really takes little to no money down, you're either going to be doing an information product or you're going to be doing something that you can make yourself that doesn't have expensive constituent parts, or you're going to be finding something that's already made that the person doesn't understand marketing. So it's really about what is the bit of value that you're going to be able to bring to that that's unique, that somebody else can't easily replicate, that the world is going to know instantly that they need, and you just have to make them aware of it, because 3 years is fast. And so Quest, for instance, depending on what you mean by rich, so for instance, 3 years into Quest, we had $1 billion brand, but I didn't have $1 billion that I could put in my pocket. So I was still driving, I think by then I had finally upgraded my car, but for the first couple years of that, I was still in a beater car, even though I was worth a lot of money. And so if you need the money to be in your pocket, that's probably going to take a fair amount of time longer. And if I can take a minute to get everybody watching to understand the difference between net worth and income, that would be really valuable. So if you don't mind generating $1 million plus in net worth, now we're back to, you just have to build something that other people say that they want. To have the actual money in your bank account, you have to build worth in something that people say that they want, and then you have to sell that thing.